You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.
Welcome to the Hot Options Report, your premier source for insight into the fast-moving options market. Each day, we'll track down the products that are dominating the options chains and impacting your trading account, from Nvidia to VIX and everything in between. If it's lighting up the options tape, then you'll find it on the Hot Options Report.
All right, everybody, welcome back to your Hot Options Report for Wednesday, December 3rd. My name is Mark Longo from theoptionsinsider.com, as well as from the podcast network that started it all way back in 2007. Remember, if you're not listening to the full network, you are missing out on over a dozen other shows coming at you. And then, of course, if you want to ask questions, some of the best minds in the world of options and derivatives, you want to talk unusual activity and flow like we're talking today in a lot more detail, theoptionsinsider.com/pro is the place to go to learn more. And of course, if you like this data, you want to crunch the numbers for yourselves, you want to get your hands on, dare I say it, better data than your brokers bring into the table, and you can't beat the price, theHotOptionsReport.com is the place to go to kick the tires and light the fires. As we dive on into our top 10 list today, only cost you 367,000 contracts to break into the top 10, so kind of a sleepy midweek session that gets you to our old pal Alphabet Class A. Closing today, 319.63, up about 382 or about 1.25% today. And the hot option in Alphabet Class A, nearly 30,000 of the 320s. So pretty much straight at the money calls going out on Friday. Average price for these, $2.75. So if you're buying these, obviously you want Alphabet to continue trending upward here throughout the rest of the week as we keep trending upward to number 9. Our old pal Palantir, listeners, closing today 176.08, up about $5.40 or a little over 3%. Good for 406,000 contracts today in the hot option in Palantir. 22,000 of the 172.5, so a rare in the money call trading out there today. Now, worth noting, these went up for about $3.38, and there is OI on this strike, so this is potentially closing, which would make maybe a little bit of sense. Also, they're probably a little bit angry if they did sell them for $3.38 because obviously they went out worth more than that. As we keep on rolling to number 8, listeners, it's the Amazonians, 434,000 contracts on the tape for the number 8 spot, closing today, $232.38, actually selling off about $2. So a little bit of red on the screen for the Amazonians today. The hot option out there, 26,000 of the 235s. Average price for these, about $1.25. So if you're buying these, of course, you need Amazon to turn around before the end of the week. If you're selling these, just grin and bear it for the rest of the week, and maybe you'll go out keeping about $1.25. As we keep rolling on up to number 7, it's my old pal, my old stomping grounds, Intel. 43.75 is where it closed, up about 30 cents today, putting up 491,000 contracts for the number 7 spot, the hot option in Intel land. 37,000 of the March 48s. Don't see a lot of those changing hands these days. Average price for these, $4.07. 48 would have seemed wild just a few months ago, and Intel was around $20. Now at $43.76, $48, not as outlandish. Worth noting, there is OI on this track as well, so there could be someone getting the heck out of Dodge. Either way, listeners, we'll keep an eye on Intel as we keep on moving up to a name a lot of people are keeping their eyes on right now. It's our old pal, the Monster, roaring back to life. 188.39 is where it went out today, up a little over $7 or nearly 4%, putting up 512,000 contracts for the number 6 spot, the hot option out there today. 35,000 of the pars, the 200s. Would have seemed like an insane strike just a few days ago. Now, looking a little bit closer to reality, listeners. Average price for these, $1.40. They went up heavy on the bid, so it is possible paper was overriding these, even though they were opening. So Interesting stuff. You like that as a covered call, listeners? We'll keep an eye on those as we keep on rolling to number 5. Keeping it in the M handles, listeners. It's our old pal Microsoft. Giving up the ghost today, 477 3/4, off about 12 1/4, or about 2.5%. Good for the number 5 spot, 567,000 contracts on the tape for them. The hot option in softy land today, 40,000 of the 485 calls. Average price for these, about $2.43, again expiring on Friday. So once again, if you're buying these, listeners, you want a little bit of upside in your life throughout the rest of the week. As we keep on moving up the list to number 4, our old pal, the Widowmaker, sneaking in there, a.k.a. Netflix. Netflix closing a little bit shy of $104, off about $5.40, or nearly 5%, putting up 676,000 contracts for the number 4 spot today, the hot option in Netflix land. Once again, to the upside, 22, almost 23,000 of the 105 calls, again expiring this Friday. Nobody cares about anything beyond this week, with the exception, obviously, of Intel, where they're going out to March, probably to close. But 105s trading for about 75 cents today, so it's up to you whether you like those as a buy or as a screaming sale. As we keep on rolling to number 3, it's our old pal, the Fruit Company. They've been hitting new all-time highs seemingly every day this week. Finally retreating off those a little bit today, closing 284.15, off a little over $2, putting up 919,000 contracts for the number 3 spot, the hot option out there today, 110,000 of the 290 calls. Average price for these, 70 cents, listeners. Can we get there by the end of the week? If you're buying these, you sure as heck hope so, as we keep on rolling to number 2, listeners. It's our old pal Nvidia. 179.59 is where it went out, selling off nearly $2, putting up 1.78 million contracts for the number 2 spot today, the hot option, 140,000 of the 185 calls. Average price for these, 84 cents. This was opening paper. Looks like someone, once again, swinging to the upside here in Nvidia. Can we get back there by the end of the week? We shall see as we get back to the number 1 spot. It's our old pal Tesla, roaring back to life today. Up 17.5 a little over 4%, 446 3/4 out there today, listeners. So quite the pop for Tesla, putting up 2.64 million contracts on the hot option out there today, 137,000 of the 440s. Average price for these, $7.20. And again, they went out $6.74 in the money, so those are looking like a pretty decent buy right now. Can they keep printing money throughout the rest of the week? We'll find out. Stay tuned to the network tomorrow for, of course, the option block, as well as This Week in Futures options, before we come back to check in on Tesla and everything else on another episode of the Hot Options Report. And remember, if you want to check out all these numbers for yourselves, thehotoptionsreport.com is the place to go. See you back here tomorrow. And oh yeah, stay safe out there, everybody.
You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.